Hello, and welcome to the first in-class exercise session for microeconomics. In this series of videos, I'll be covering the entirety of microeconomics in terms of in-class exercises. I will try to do them in as simple a way as possible, including both what Professor Hatfield has taught us in class versus any tips or tricks that can help speed along the process. So today we'll be starting with optimal pricing. This will be the first ever example. A little bit of a nostalgia boost. This is pricing at Montague flowers. Obviously, compared to the problems that we have done in recent weeks, this is very, very kind of rolled back and straightforward. But there are a couple of things that we can use, some of the strategies that or mindsets, I would say, in certain terms of working backwards, drawing out a game tree, those are actually still valid. So I'll be showing those to you in this video. So essentially we're the CEO of a flower company and we are given a cost. So we're given a cost right here. And we're also given a demand with P. So we have two different variables here. We have P and Q. Those are pretty self-explanatory. One other thing that we should note is that in this case, dP right here is also equal to Q. That's very important to keep in mind. So obviously this is a very laid back scenario. We're just deciding how many roses to grow, at what price we'll charge, and we're trying to maximize the profit. So even before jumping into and solving this equation, we can draw out a game tree just so we can use some of what we have learned in the past 2 or 3 weeks and apply it to these simpler problems, because I just found it kind of interesting to do that. So if I were to do step 1, draw a game tree. Not a decision tree, a game tree. So a game tree is what I'm assuming to be a more straightforward method than decision tree, which obviously includes decisions. Don't quote me on that. If you think you have a better explanation, please let me know. So for this game tree, if you really think about it, there's the first step, right? Which is growing the quantity. So that's you. We're trying to grow flowers. Something like that. And we are then going to be pricing them. So this is where we price it. Well, actually, that's not going to do it justice. And then getting these stacks right here. So what's interesting is that even in your mind, you must be thinking, oh, well, it's a simple price optimization. If you draw this game tree, you can actually approach this with two different methods. So you can actually approach this with two different methods right here. You can either do quantity first and convert all the equations to quantity, or you can solve it for price and then work yourselves backwards. Or sorry, work the equation backwards. So just for fun and giggles, really, I'm going to go ahead and do exactly that. So first thing is to solve for P. So of course in this scenario we're given kind of simple equations, cost right here, and we have demand over here. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and solve for P. So the profit equation, right, we're given costs already, which is kind of nice. So we have 8 plus 4Q in parentheses, and then we have the price times demand, right? Because in this case, cost is already equated into one equation, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do have price times, in this case, 20 minus 2P. So now you may be wondering, oh no, we have two variables. Well, don't worry, because remember this equation right here that we have in the beginning? Yeah, we're going to be converting that. So let's go ahead and convert that. So Q is equal to 20 minus 2P, and well, there you go. That's it. We've basically converted it. We're going to just stick that in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and expand this because this is again a very easy one, easier to do. So I'm going to go ahead and expand it manually. Of course, later equations we're going to require Wolfram alpha. So let me just go ahead and expand everything. I'm just going to do it. Okay, fine. I'll do it here. 80 minus 8p. So now you have 20p minus 2p squared minus 88 plus 8p. Then you have 28p minus 2p squared minus 88. So now we're going to go ahead and stick a derivative on there. And then we get 28 minus 4p is equal to 0. And then you do p is equal to 7. Now you may be wondering, well, yeah, well, you won't be wondering. We're solving this part of the equation first. I noticed that in the in-class exercises, the question that he asks first is ideally what we want to begin the answer with, right? So we do quantity and then price, but because we're using the work backward methodology, that's what we're going to be doing. So we're first solving for price, then doing quantity. So now we have done price. Now it's on to quantity. So I'm just actually going to do that right here. Now we know that p is equal to 7. Using an earlier equation, 20 minus 2, now 7. Q is equal to 20 minus 14, which is, no, I didn't do that right. There you go. Ta-da, first time. Quantity is equal to 6. So now we can solve the equation. Say that Q is equal to 6, P is equal to 7. So again, not a very complicated exercise, obviously, but the reason why I wanted to do it this way is to kind of just show in this scenario that this right here, this right here is pretty interesting because, we're using a concept that we've just recently learned, applying it to this situation. So that way mentally, we're kind of understanding how to solve this problem in these terms. Of course, you can just go ahead and optimize it without even bothering to do all this, but I like to do it because, for me, it just helps me understand the concept better. And of course, forget the mantra, work backwards. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, leave them down below. And don't forget to understand and have a good time with this. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.